Okay, I'd like to explain a technique exercise on sitar for those of you who appreciate challenges. Now, it's a very simple exercise, but it can be extremely difficult to play properly. Now, the exercise encompasses the full speaking range of the sitar, which is 3 octaves actually, from low sa to middle sa, that's the low octave, from middle sa to high sa, that's the middle octave, and from high sa to what I call super high sa, which is a register like right up near the super high sa. Very few people play in those notes. So that's the let's call it the super high octave. Okay, so that's 3 octaves. Now, low sa is played on the 2nd string. It's called the jora string, open. Okay, so when you just play that 2nd string open, that's the low sa. Okay. Middle sa is the 7th fret of the main string, which is the ma string, the 1st string. High sa is the 19th fret of the main string. And the super high sa is, well, you can only reach that by pulling the string. So you have to go up to, depending on how many frets your sitar has, you have to go up to the very highest fret, which is maybe pa, maybe that pa, high pa, and then pull pa, pa, da, ni, sa, all the way up to the very high sa, and that's the difficult part. Okay. Yeah, so just an aside, how do you notate these different sa's? Okay, so you can write sa or just S, capital S. And for middle sa, which is the 7th fret of the ma string, the middle sa, that is just written as an S, okay, or S-A, sa, okay? No dots, nothing, just sa. Low sa, which is the open 2nd string sa, okay, the low one, that's written with an S with a dot underneath it, okay? Now high sa, which is the 19th fret of the main string, high sa is written as sa with a dot on top of it, and then that dot indicates 1 octave higher than middle sa, of course. Now the super high sa, or the ultra high sa, which is the one way, way up there you have to pull to get to, that's written as S with 2 dots above it, which indicates 2 octaves above middle sa. Okay, so now the exercise, what we'll do is you'll first play the exercise in the low octave. Okay, that's from low sa to middle sa, in the low octave, and go through all the variations. Then you're going to play it in the middle octave, go through the variations. Then you're going to play it in the high octave. Then what you're going to do is combine the low octave and the middle octave. Then what you're going to do is combine the middle octave and the high octave. And finally, you're going to combine all 3 octaves. Okay, so what is the exercise? Now, once you understand the basic exercise, you can make hundreds or thousands of exercises from this, because it just starts with, all I'm going to give you is a sargam. Now, a sargam means straight up the scale and straight down the scale. Okay, so sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. Now I don't know which note I'm singing sa, so that's probably not going to correspond to your sitar. But I'm starting low because I've got to go up 3 octaves. Okay, so sa, that's probably lower than the regular low sa. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa, sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. You might have noticed that except for when you first start, every time you play sa thereafter, you have to play it twice. Okay, and the reason for that is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You want to keep it, for now, you want to keep it at 8 notes per phrase. So you have some kind of symmetry with your stroking. Of course, you can later on eliminate one note, do it as a 7, and then modify your stroking, and you can make all sorts of variations if you want. You know, you can go nuts with it. You can also play this in any scale you want. And you can also do it in patterns of da 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 da, etc. Da 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 da. You can go nuts with the possibilities for this exercise. But for now, let's just do it this plain sargam. Sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa. Start in the low octave, and just to clarify what the left hand fingering should be, low sa, of course, can only be played as an open string. The re would be the first finger, ga first finger, and then ma with the second finger. That's all on the second string. Then jump up to the ma string, the main string, and play pa on the second fret with your first finger, and then pa, da, first finger, ni, first finger, sa with the second finger. So you have like sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, and reverse, going down is the reverse. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, open, sorry. Okay. Now that's what you do for the first octave with your fingering. With the second octave, or the middle octave, you simply start on the 7th fret with the middle sa, and you go sa, all with your first finger, only second finger is the high sa, and the same going down. So sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. You can make... you can do variations on that. You can go sa, re, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You can do that also, but, or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 with the second finger, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. But best is you just keep it 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? Now, for the ultra high octave, when you're starting at the 19th fret of the main string, starting on the high sa, going to the ultra high sa, you will play every note with your first finger except for whatever is your highest fret. That will be with the second finger. And from there, you have to pull up to sa. And then once you're at the high sa, you have to pull, and then release, go down to whatever the highest fret with the second finger, and then first finger down to sa. So, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa, like this. Okay, so that's your stroking, your fingering. Now, I'm designing this particular exercise for a student out in Vancouver who has a bit of an issue with, he actually has an incredibly good right hand, but he has a tendency, which is common for Westerners, to reverse the stroking accents. Okay, now this is common for Westerners because guitar stroking, as we all know, is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Means the down is a strong one. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? Sitar stroking is reversed. It's up, down, 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 up, down. Okay? And it's called da, ra, da, ra, da, ra. Da is the upstroke, ra is the downstroke, and da is the accented stroke. Da, ra, da, ra, da, ra, da, ra. There's an accent there. It's not, they're all the same. So da, ra, da, 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 da. Okay, because you have more power, kind of, when you're like, thumb is always fixed, and then you're stroking like that. Okay, so as I said earlier, we'll start with the low octave, and then we'll do the second octave, and the third octave, etc., as I explained. So we'll start with the low octave, and this is how you're going to stroke it. Okay, so the notes is sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Now, the first time you do it, you're going to do it with all da strokes. Okay? Da 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 da. Okay? And do that a bunch of times. Okay? The next variation is da 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 ra da 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 ra, or sorry, no. Next variation will be da 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 ra, da 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 ra, da 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 ra, da 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 ra. Only the last of the 8 notes will be ra. Everything else, da. Okay? Now the third variation, so do that a bunch of times, okay? As clear as you can, clean as you can, and then boost your speed. Do it with metronome. See how fast you tick, 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 tick. Okay, see how fast you can go, and make sure it's always clean. Now, the third variation, or third or fourth, whatever, third is da 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 ra da 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 ra da 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 ra da 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 ra da 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 ra. Okay? Now, the fourth variation is the standard one, which is da ra 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 da ra. Okay? Now the last variation will be da ra da da ra da da ra da ra da da ra da da ra da ra da da ra da da ra da ra da da ra da da ra. Okay. That's basically it. So you will do that in the low octave first, then you'll do that in the middle octave, and then you'll do that in the high octave. Then you'll combine the low octave and the middle octave, all with going through all the variations, and then you're going to do the middle octave and the high octave combined through all the variations, and then you're going to do all 3 octaves together. So da re sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa sa, and then you have to repeat sa. Okay, for the new octave, repeat sa. So it'll be sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa. Okay, so let's try again. Sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa sa re ga ma pa ra ni sa. I can't sing it. And then sa ni da pa ma ga re sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Okay, so down the sa ni da pa ma ga re sa, the 3rd octave. So all 3 octaves. I'm sorry about my butchering singing there. Whatever. Doing my best. So happy struggles and happy practice. That should keep you busy for a while. Remember, probably the what you should emphasize there is really the high octave. Practice more in the high octave. Also, the low octave is pretty more challenging because you've got to jump strings and stuff like that. Middle octave is where you play all the time anyway, so you know. That's usually where we practice all the time, so we don't need special attention to that octave. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you.